Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing sort of a Fear the Walking Dead Q&A for this weekend, of course, because it is finally time for the premiere. Okay, so I definitely wanted to at least do this one and talk about, of course, the premiere this weekend with you guys. At least do one Q&A for it and kind of give my thoughts on it. The Too Far Gone throwback review, I've decided I'm going to move it up from Sunday. I was initially planning on releasing it Sunday at about 5, but I decided I'm going to move it to Saturday at 5. That way, because Fear the Walking Dead's on Sunday, and anybody who wants to watch it anytime on Sunday can go ahead and do that. That's Eastern Time. Just to do something a little different for the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead, which I'm very excited for. It's awesome to finally get The Walking Dead returning, even though it's like The Walking Dead, but it's not The Walking Dead, So, but hey, it's the best we can get at this time. There's only so many episodes the regular, people involved with the regular series can do, and I think they feel like 16 is probably capacity. Any more than that, and it would be pretty hard to do, and we might see a dip in quality like a lot of those shows that are 22 episode seasons and stuff like that. It gets pretty nutty. Even though Gotham first season was something like that, it was pretty high in terms of episode number, and the quality was still amazing. You get other shows, I won't mention any names because I don't want to hate on any shows people like, but some of the ones on the CW and that, where they just pump out so many episodes, and it's just like, I feel like if they did a lot less, the quality would be much better. Speaking of which, the first season of Fear the Walking Dead is going to have only 6 episodes, which is just like the first season of the original Walking Dead, which, the second season will have more, which is good. But, what are we going to do? They want to make sure it's good quality. The first one's a episode and a half, so that's good. It's a 90-minute with commercials, so it's like a Game of Thrones episode, 1 hour basically, when you minus the commercial time. It's a lot of commercials, but 6 episodes with the half episode to start with a big premiere should be a good way to start the season. Should allow them to really cram in good quality and give us a really good startup point for a new series that will last hopefully at least a few seasons, at least 2 seasons confirmed so far, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So, of course, as usual, as always, the review will be posted at the normal time. Once I get to watch the episode, I get to, make my notes, do the review. It'll be posted Sunday night, probably at about midnight Eastern time, roughly. Maybe a little earlier, depending on, if I need to watch it twice and that kind of thing. But it's a extended episode, so for that, probably midnight to 1 o'clock a.m. Sunday night Eastern time. So, just heads up for that. Of course, you can watch it on Monday if some of you guys have work or school or whatever. I know there's a few people on the channel in summer school and stuff. Not a bad thing. It's good. Always learning is good. Staying on your toes is not a bad thing. So, even if you failed or whatever, oh well. So, first question is from Snowfalgamez, and he says, hey, Trev, love your videos, watch them every day. Anyways, do you think Fear the Walking Dead will have 2 half seasons, like the regular Walking Dead, or like 12 to 13 episodes like other shows straight through? And he says, thanks. So, I wanted to put that one right off the bat so we could talk about it, because there are some viewers in the channel that don't know too much about it and maybe have missed some of my previous videos earlier months ago when we talked about this, because I kind of do things as soon as we get the information. So, we've touched on most of this, but it's going to be 6 episodes first season, and there is a break, but it's a weird one. The first 2 episodes, pilot and So Close Yet So Far is what they're called, are week to week. So August 23rd, August 30th, I'll put the link in the description to the wiki. And then we have a break until September 13th. And I think that makes sense. You're getting the first week of September, you got a lot of people going back to school, people getting ready, maybe moving for college or university or whatever, driving or, travel or whatever they have to do. I think it makes sense to take a week off there, so I think that's a smart choice. And it's September 13th, September 20th, September 27th, and October 4th. So straight through for that. So it's kind of like a half season. It's kind of like a half break. You get the first 2 with the 90-minute, and then we get a break, and then the next 4 in the second part. But hopefully with the second season, with, of course, having more episodes, we'll be able to get, I would think we'll probably have like a full kind of break like they have with the regular the regular Walking Dead show. I think we will get a break in the second season. So it'll be interesting to see when they can start the second season. I hope they don't overlap. If they're doing more the extended order for the second season. On the wiki it says 15 episodes to air. We'll see what happens with that 2016, if that is in fact going to happen, or if they're going to change it or something. You never know at this time. It's so early. It's hard to tell. Sometimes they change these things, right? So hopefully they start it like at the beginning of like July, or they start it like late June, but I don't know if they can get the filming done by that time. What would kind of suck is if we had Fear the Walking Dead's ending overlapping with the start of The Walking Dead. I would like to see them spread out so that you have 16 of one, 15 of two, 31 weeks out of the year. More often than not, we got a new episode of something Walking Dead, which is awesome. And then the comic book series mixed in with that. Lots of fun for us zombie fans, deadheads, so to speak. Not in the stupid sense like I discussed before in a video with you guys. Okay, so yeah, next one's from Nathan Smith, and he says, "Hey Trev, love the channel and videos, and I appreciate all you do." Smiley face, well, smiley face back to my friend. My question was, what do you think The Walking Dead will be like now, or what would it be like if Frank Darabont or Glen Mazzara were still the showrunners? Thanks, and keep up the amazing work. So I've been asked this question a few times. Go over it real quick. Frank Darabont, man, the show would probably be even better because Scott Gimple would probably still be involved, but yet he'd be more of like writing, and he'd be in there too, right? But you just have another very talented person in there. I'd be surprised if it was worse. I think it would still be just as good. But season 3 and 4 would have been a lot different, I think, quite a bit. And plus, he had some really good ideas for extra stuff they could have done, and they didn't want to go for it. So, he was, man, it would have been cool if he could have worked things out. Because even Mob City was a great show, and is AMC showing some kind of mob show now? I was like, that's kind of bad manner, to be honest. So, I don't know if they took that idea from Darabont or what with Mob City, or just to kind of rub it in his face. I'm not sure. But it would have been cool if he would have been there. Glen Mazzara, on the other hand, though, with Season 3 and end of Season 2 pacing, his pacing was too fast, man. We would be like most of the way through the comic book series at this point with his pacing, Season 4 and 5. So I'm actually glad they didn't continue with that, because we would have caught up too fast, and it would have made the show too unstable in the long term. Then it could have gotten canceled or run out of content or had to go on hiatus or something, or just thrown in full seasons of fillers, which I might be okay with, but it's just not, it felt like it wasn't as well spaced out and organized. Even though we get slower episodes now than we had with him, it feels like we're not going to, I feel like the show's not in jeopardy as much as it seems like it was with him just burning through content so fast. Even though it was awesome to see. Next one is from Richard Jennings1234, and he says, instead of Daryl being Dwight, do you think Dwight might just take Daryl's crossbow, and that would solve the question of the two characters each having a similar weapon? That would be cool. If this guy we see, we've kind of been questioning it. Is it Dwight? Is it not Dwight? He doesn't have a crossbow. But what if he took Daryl's or something? I don't know. You'd have to look at the specifics of the trailer and try to figure out if Daryl has it afterwards, after he breaks out of the ropes or whatever. It's hard to say at this point. Hard to tell right now. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that'd be cool. I like that idea. I like that idea of kind of him becoming it, and then you'd have two, and then you'd have like a villain for Daryl, later on. Plus, people have kind of started to get a little bit tired of the crossbow, so I think it makes sense if they swapped it out a little bit. It's been a while that we keep seeing him with a crossbow consistently. It's kind of his thing. It's his staple, like Michonne's sword, and I get that. But I do think it'd be cool to kind of mix it up a little bit here and there, so that the character doesn't become stale by himself, which I don't think he really will, to be honest. He's got such a fan base, it's crazy. Next one's from Robert Wild, and he says, Trev, as you know, Robert Kirkman was originally going to have the main characters fortify a school in the comics instead of a prison. Do you think that will be the main location by the end of Season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead, or maybe Season 2? That's a great idea, man, because they're both school teachers, right? The two main couple they're both school teachers, so that could make sense that they could do something like that. And also, you're right, that was Kirkman's original idea, was to do a high school instead of a prison, but I guess he opted for a prison because it made more sense, and it has the whole safety behind bars kind of idea where people are always trying to break out of prison, and in a zombie apocalypse, what better place could you find than a prison, because you can just lock yourself in as long as you clear it out. So it's a cool idea, but yeah, I do think a high school would be a really cool location to see in a zombie apocalypse. We got to see one briefly, I think, with Shane, right? Season 2 with Shane and Otis when they're running through as a gymnasium or what? I think so. Geez, that's going so far back. Sometimes I have fuzzy logic with memory, but I'm pretty sure that was a high school. Have we seen another high school aside from that? I don't think so. That's probably the only one. But it'd be a cool location to see them try to fortify, I think. So that would be that'd be a great idea. But it's just too early to say. We don't have anything yet indicating that they would be, because it seems like they're trying in the trailers to get the hell out of LA rather than set up camp somewhere there. They might be forced to, though, long term. We'll have to see what happens with that, because yeah, we'll just have to see. See, that'd be like season 2, probably season 3-ish, if we get there with the series. I think we will, to be honest. I think we will. Okay, we'll do a couple more. This one's from Mike D, and he says, top 5 Carol Daryl moments. That'd be cool for a video. I could do something like that, top character moments. It's not something I've really done too much before. I do like some top 5s, top 10, lots of those. But I haven't done individual character, moment tributes like that. I could do that, so that's a good suggestion. I'll take that into consideration. And keep sending me your guys' suggestions, because even if I don't use one of yours, I might use another one, and it just depends on the timing and that. So keep sending me what you guys got in your questions, because it does, a lot of what I do with the channel has become a lot easier because I have you guys now. 4 or 5 years ago, when I was starting the channel, it was really hard to come up with topics consistently. I was able to do it, but without a good subscriber base asking me questions, hey Trev, what's this or what's that or whatever, without you guys here, my friends on YouTube, it's hard to come up with stuff all the time. So at least it was back then, because there was when I started, there was no content for Walking Dead or anything really on YouTube. There was AMC, which they released video once in a while, hardly at all. There was IGN and channels like that, and that's it. Everything else, a lot of the ideas that I do consistently now, I had to come up with on my own. So having you guys there to suggest things to me is great. Really makes it a lot easier for sure. And we'll do one more. This one's from Glitz and Gloom, and he says, hey Trev, love the channel, long-time subscriber, daily viewer, and regular commenter. Forgive me if this has been asked before, but what are your thoughts on a Walking Dead spin-off prequel about the Governor, chronicling the events of Rise of the Governor? I see a lot of fan support of the idea as a feature film, bringing back David Morrissey to reprise the titular role, but rather than a feature film, we get it instead in a miniseries on AMC, a 6-episode miniseries, much in the same way both Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead's first seasons were and are. I suppose if this were to happen, it would have happened in the last year or so. Do you think a miniseries is still something that could happen? The Governor had a lot of time in the series, but still was a great character, and I miss his presence on the show. David Morrissey was amazing. I agree with you 100%, man. We've kind of talked about it quickly before. We've talked about the idea of a Walking Dead movie. I would probably pick his storyline prior, getting to see, because with Fear, we're seeing the outbreak, like you said here. It'd be cool to see the outbreak from the Governor's perspective and what kind of turned him that evil, and maybe see him as more of an innocent, regular citizen before, and then see as the things started happening to him with Rise of the Governor, how Woodbury was built, how all that stuff was built. That would just be so cool. Even to see a comic book series version of it, I'd be happy with that. They've never done that for some reason. I have no idea why. The comic book series for The Walking Dead, I've always felt like there could be more there because they could make more titles, but they never really have. But even better for a mini-series, like a one-season thing, they call David Morrissey, throw in a bit of a budget, and I think it would work, man. I think that would be that would be epic as hell, to be honest. Because the Governor, one of my favorite characters in the series, and a lot of people hate him, but he's a great villain, though. He's really scary. David Morrissey does an amazing job as him, and I think he's working on Extant, right? And I think that show might get canceled. I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. It's pretty simple. If a show gets 1 million or 2 million views an episode, it might get canceled. So if it gets more than that, okay, we're fine. Over 4 or 5 million views an episode, you're good. Less than that, you might be in cancellation territory. So if he's out of a job, if Extant gets cut and maybe he doesn't have anything else, I think AMC should seriously consider doing that, because you have the novels to pull from. You could get a team together pretty cheap, I would think, to be honest. Greg Nicotero's probably busy, but he's got to be training an apprentice at this time. Who's his apprentice who he's like showing all the zombie shit to, and they can just take him and move him over? There's got to be somebody there with the thousands of zombies, probably tens of thousands at this point, zombies they've made for the shows. He's got to have somebody who knows the stuff, who's learned from him. There's got to be somebody. So anyway, hopefully in the future we could see something like that. Maybe it'll just be kind of a fan dream forever, but I would love to see them do a David Morrissey series like that leading up to it, man. Oh man, that would be so great. Both eyes and everything, and just kind of getting ready, and his daughter and all. Oh man, that'd be so cool. Because you're right, his time in the TV series is really only like a season and a half. And that's not that much if you consider, that Shane also got like a season and a half, basically. So he could have had a lot more time based on the comic book series. He could have had 3 seasons if they would have slowed the pace down easy, I think. So anyway, that said, let me know what you guys think about all that. Of course, heads up for this weekend. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And let me know what your thoughts are on the concept of a Governor miniseries. I think it's a great idea. What you're most excited for this weekend, what you think about high school concept for the characters, and what you're most looking forward to about Fear the Walking Dead, right in the comments below. I'll see you guys this weekend, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'll try to make another video for you, but definitely this weekend for sure. Should be some fun. And I'll have that throwback review for Too Far Gone, speaking of Governor, up for you guys on Saturday. I'm going to make a point to do it. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, you can do so at the bottom left. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and you want to see more from me. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again real soon. As always, it's Trev. Same peace. See you guys.
Yeah.